Hello everyone, I am teacher Marvin and I'm glad to share with you different lessons in English. So if you are a student of English or you're someone who'd like to enhance your proficiency in English, I believe that this YouTube channel is for you. So for you to be updated with the different English lessons that I will be uploading in my channel, please hit that subscribe button. For this first set of lessons that we will be talking about, I will be using the course book entitled English for Everyone. And this is intended for level 3 intermediate students. And with this, I'm, we can start our discussion on making conversation. So first lesson in this course book is about making conversation. In spoken English, you might hear small questions added to the ends of sentences. These are called question tags, and they are used to invite someone to agree with you. So, of course, we always find ourselves communicating with different people, and of course, we all want to be good communicators. One way to become a good communicator is knowing how to make use of question tags, okay? Because this will show that you have interest in the topic that you're talking about, and this will also keep your conversation going. So, take a look at this example below. We have the sentence, the music is very loud, isn't it? So it is actually divided into two. First one is the statement, the music is very loud. And at the end of this sentence, we have the question tag, isn't it? So you can see here, we have the word isn't. This is actually a contracted form. Okay, this is composed of two words originally, which are is and not. And if you combine those words, we call it contraction. And if you combine those words, is and not, it becomes isn't. So the question tag is isn't it? So how do we form this question tag? That's the thing that we will address later on because I will be giving some exercises for you to enhance or for you to practice what you have learned about question tags. Before that, though, let's take a look at the different examples using question tags. First, we have he's tall. Is it he? You're cold. Aren't you? I'm late. Aren't I? I'm not talking too much. Am I? Now, with these examples, or of these examples, I'd like to highlight or give emphasis on the word aren't I. As you can see here, we have the word I'm, which is a contracted form of I am. So why didn't we use amn't I? Because we have the be verb, we use the be verb am. Well, the answer for that is because in the English language we don't have such term as amit, and so we make use the right term to use there is are. Okay, it must be aren't I. Now let's address the question: how do we form question tags? So let's try to dissect the following example. The music is very loud. One way to form one important thing that you have to look at in the statement for you to make a question tag is you have to look at the verb. So the be verb used in this statement is the word is. And you ask yourself, is this positive or negative? Since there's no not, okay, the word not is not used in this statement, therefore the verb is positive. Now, it's the rule in question tag construction that if the statement is positive, the verb is positive, in the question tag, you have to make it negative. So as you can see here, we still use, okay, we use the verb used in the statement. Okay, we have the word here is, and we make it negative, so we make the word isn't. Okay, isn't, which again is a contracted form of the words is and not. And where did we get the pronoun it? You also have to look at this subject, okay? Yeah, the subject of the statement. In the statement, the music is very loud. What do you think is the subject? The subject is, all right, very good, music. Okay, so we have to replace music to a pronoun. Can we use he? Can we use she? Can we use them? Basically not, because music is not a person. This does not refer to people. And since it does not refer to people or to a person, we make use of the word it. We use the pronoun it to replace objects or things or animals. That's why we came up to the question tag, isn't it? We also have another example for you to understand it better. This time, the statement or the verb is negative. The music isn't very loud. So, how will we make the question tag if the statement is negative or the verb is negative? Okay, if the statement or the verb is negative, the question tag should be positive. Okay, so the music isn't very loud. Is it? Okay, is it? It is now in the positive form. So you just have to remember that if the statement is positive, the question tag should be negative. If the statement is negative, the question tag must be positive. Okay, I think you got it now. Now, for you to practice your knowledge on question tags, let's try to do the following examples. We have add question tags to the sentences. So we have an example already. They're good dancers, aren't they? Okay, it's the word aren't they, because again the verb here is are, and since this is positive, the question tag must be negative. Why did we use the word they? Because that's the subject of this statement. Okay, so we have seven items here. Feel free to pause this video so you could write, okay, and you could have more time to think of your answer to this question tag. After answering, let's could you try to counter check or compare your answer to the answers that I will be giving. So number one, she's not very well. She's not very well. Is she? Number two, you're not living now. Are you? Her dress is beautiful. Isn't isn't it? Her dress is beautiful. Isn't it? John's hilarious. Is he? Isn't he rather? John's hilarious. Isn't he? You're tired, aren't you? You're tired, aren't you? The music is fantastic, isn't it? The music is fantastic, isn't it? The food isn't healthy, is it? The food isn't healthy, is it? All right, so how many items did you get? Could you please share your the number of the correct items you got? Could share those uh, scores in the comment section, and I'll be very happy to see those things or see those scores that you've got. Now, for you to have more practice for this, let's try 1.5. Say the sentences out loud, adding question tags. She's a great guitarist, isn't she? We also have, okay, we'll try to answer 1 to 5. Again, feel free if you pause, if you think that you need more time to answer the following. Number 1, this venue isn't very nice, is it? This venue isn't very nice, is it? The weather is perfect, isn't it? The weather is perfect, isn't it? The food is delicious, isn't it? The food is delicious, isn't it? Isn't it? You're dressed nicely, aren't you? You're dressed nicely, aren't you? It's very cold, isn't it? It's very cold, isn't it? So how many items did you get from this particular number? Could you please share your the scores that you've gotten? And I'm very willing again to see and know how many items did you get. All right, I hope that this time you know already and it's clear to you how to make sentences or how to make question tags. This time, let's talk about formal and informal conversations. So, chatting to friends uses informal language, while greeting people at work may use formal language. So, many of you of course, you'll be professional soon, and you will be engaged to different communication situations. You will be and you will be engaged to a meeting, for example, or you could just be engaged, talking with your colleagues, your friends. It's important that we have to know what kind of language do we use when we talk to different people. Now, if you are talking to people in your work, for example, you're talking to your coworkers, okay, or your boss, for example, it is advisable to use a formal language. For example, good morning, Miss Pescos. How are you? Very well, thank you. So as you can see, the language that they use is formal. Yeah. Another one, may I introduce Emma Wilson? I'm very pleased to meet you. I'm delighted to meet you. So those are examples of the use of formal language. What about if we talk or if you talk to your friends, okay, and it's not in a corporate setting? What language do we use? It's actually okay to use informal language. Say, for instance, you meet your friends in the cafe. Okay, for example, we have this conversation. Hi, Jane. How are you doing? Fine, thanks. Okay, or if you introduce your friend, this is Martha. Great to meet you. You too. So you can actually see the difference how they introduce persons in a formal and informal conversation. Okay. Now, to know more about this and to practice our knowledge or our knowledge on the use of formal and informal language, let's try to do 1.8. Okay, so you just have to fill in the blank. You can choose the appropriate words inside the panel. I advise you to pause this video for a while so you can concentrate on writing or answering this one. After, you could just share or compare your answer to the answer that I'll be sharing. All right, are you done? So the answer for this, number one, great to meet you too. Okay, great to meet you too. So we cross out this one. Number two, this is Tess. Number three, I'm delighted to meet you, Mrs. McIntosh. I'm delighted to meet you, Mrs. McIntosh. Number four, hi Cameron. How are you doing? How are you doing? And lastly, may I introduce Dev Chandera? Yeah, may I introduce Dev Chandera. So how many items did you get here? So you could share those are your answers in the chat box, and I mean in the comment section, and I'll try to read or look at those scores. And of course, as for your practice, you can make use or you can answer this one. You can just for this for individual practice, you can just practice this at home. All right. So thank you for tuning in and thank you for listening.